only getting coached today, so once he walks out of frame, he says thank you. Stop the live. Cool. Right. Ready? Yeah, we're ready to go. The big week for us going up to South Carolina this week, playing a night game up there. Always a challenging environment. They got a new coaching staff in there this year, and you see they got them playing. You see the improvement they're making as a team, and the program. They're doing a good job of getting them back, and Shane's really Coach Beamer there is doing a good job of getting that team together, getting them play hard. And build that program the right way. And so it's always a tough environment to go play when you play up there in night games at South Carolina. So big challenge for our guys. We've got to come out and have a good week of practice and get ready to play.
All right. We'll start. We'll ask that you have a question, please put it in the chat and raise your hand, and we're going to start with David Waters.
Coach, the topic of recruiting has come up a lot the last couple of days from a few angles. Is it a different approach needed for the level of consistency?
Well, we're in the season right now. We'll do recruiting after the season, and when it gets to recruiting time, we can talk about recruiting.
Sounds good.
Okay. Next question.
Megan Thompson.
Yeah, hey, Dan.
Hey.
So when, I guess, you can play only the schedule that you have, right?
Yeah.
But do you think the opponents this month, I know this is going to be a big month for you guys, can fully answer the questions that people have about, like, the program and where the direction of it? I mean, it's,
Well, every game you play, you're playing great teams that have scholarship players in the Southeastern Conference, and you're playing really good teams with big rivalry games still left to play. So every week you get to answer a question when you step out there on the field, and like you said, you play the schedule you play. And last year we played the schedule we played, and this year you're playing it. Next year the schedule comes out, they post it, you go play those teams that you play, and we're playing an excellent South Carolina team this week. That's what I'm focused on. I do know we have a big rivalry game at the end of the season coming up. We have some tough SEC teams still to play. And, in this league, if you don't bring your A game every week, you can't expect to win. So we got to bring our A game and get ready to play these games.
What's the status of Anthony?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Gene Fournette.
One of your former colleagues who sat in the same chair as you, whenever criticism rained down, referred to it as noise in the system. When that kind of stuff happens, do you even bother to address that with players so that you make sure that they are focused for that week's game and not being distracted?
Yeah, I do. Because there's, we have to live in the reality of a world, not the perception world. The noise is kind of perception out on the outside, a lot of it, and we live with our guys, which is focusing on how we got to get better, what we did well, what we did poorly, how we got to improve. And you forget these guys are 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, a lot of them. So they're on social media all the time. They're out there with their friends, and You know, and I try to pay a little bit of attention. You know, I don't pay much attention to it personally because I'm focused on how we're getting better, but I pay it enough so that I know what our guys might have to deal with. That we go address, but and then we get back to the reality. Hey, here's things we did well. Here's things we did poorly. Here's areas we need to improve in. And we kind of live in that world to address those.
As a follow-up,
Mm-hmm.
what's your biggest concern right now with the program?
We got to go find a way to win this week, beating South Carolina. That would probably be the biggest concern right now. Is we got a good South Carolina team and a night road game in the SEC. So we got to go win that game.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Matt Baker?
Kind of follow up on those questions.
Yeah.
How do you personally handle the negativity and criticism? I mean, you're in a job that's, let's face it, burning people out before.
That's part of the job. That's part of this, right? I mean, it's 6 inches between a pat on the back and a kick in the rear end. And in the SEC, you're either getting one or the other. There's no in between. There's no, hey, I guess everything's okay. That's what I say, the perception and reality. Perception is everything's perfect or everything's horrendous. Reality, you're probably a little bit more in the middle somewhere. And you're just trying to figure out how to improve and get better. So, I always tell our guys, when it seems to be going good, it's probably not as good as everybody perceives it to be. There's issues we got to go fix. And when it's going bad, it's probably not as bad as it's going, and we just have a couple things, we have areas we got to improve in.
I think I have a decent enough feel for the perception. What do you think the reality is then right now?
Yeah, we got, right? I mean, we addressed a bunch of them today. I'm not going to get into all of it. I think, obviously the big one is turnovers is a huge deal for us. We got to find a way offensively. We're turning the ball over at an extremely high rate and doing all the little things, the attention to detail that way. I think the inconsistencies of our performance is something, and you watch it, and we addressed that today, the inconsistencies of our performance. But I also see, what we pointed out is some of the inconsistencies during practice as well. And you see from hey, here's 4 plays in a row, and good, bad, good, good, or good, bad, or, one of those deals. And why is there inconsistency? Whether it is in effort, performance, execution, assignment, what are the inconsistencies, and how do we make sure we eliminate as many inconsistencies as possible? Yep.
Josh Miller?
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
You talked with me about on Saturday after the game about mindset.
Yeah.
You've coached a few seasons. I think it's like 13, so a couple games. So you know the world.
Oh yeah.
Is there any bad blood carrying over from losses? Like I know there was the bye, but LSU to Georgia, and then how do you kind of stop any negativity that you were talking to me about, or maybe guys that have like, oh, we got 4 losses in the SEC championship, no big bowl game, like they're just like this season's done with. Is there?
Yeah, I don't see that with our guys. I see the frustration. Obviously I don't think any of our guys are happy with where we are and where we're at. I know I'm certainly not. And as a competitor, there's 2 ways to look at it, right? I mean, like you said, however, you just did it like kind of the woe is me factor. Or as a competitor is I can't wait to get on the field and go compete. And that mindset, that competitive mindset will pull you through to go compete. And then I got to get things cleaned up to make sure our performance is at a higher level. And when you perform at a high level, both in practice and games, that'll build the confidence. Okay. And then when you have the confidence, you have to change your mindset and have the attitude where you expect to go in, where you expect things to happen. There's a very fragile deal within a game where as players talk about it. Hey, I expect the ball to bounce my way. I expect to make the play. I expect to win the game. I expect every break to go our way. Then there's the other one is, hey, I'm looking around for someone else to make the play. Or, oh no, what's going to happen wrong next to us? And that's a fine line. And so you have to, one, change your mindset. But the best way to change your mindset is within your preparation so that you have the confidence being prepared at that moment to go out there. And then all of a sudden, when the breaks go your way and good things start happening to you, all of a sudden, boy, there's a big change and that confidence sways the other way. but it's all goes through preparation.
So how does the complacent mindset change to a dominant, I need to go out there and make
You got to be a competitor to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to be a competitor. And here's the thing is, you don't usually get here. You're not playing football at the level that these guys play football at. You're not playing in the Southeastern Conference. You're not playing at the University of Florida. If you have a complacent mindset, you don't even make it here. You know what I mean?
well, not complacent like you said.
I mean, that's a competitor, man. You gotta be a competitor, you know. And not everybody are competitors, you know. But I mean, most the guys on our team are competitors. So I don't even think there is anything to that.
Edgar Thompson?
Yeah, on that note, Damian Pierce, we asked the other day, I mean, he's one of the leaders, senior, represents you guys great. And we're like, how do you get the most out of this going the rest of this season? I mean, your goals you had bigger goals, let's say. And he said, I got to ask myself that question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a competitor.
Have you posed this to your team? Like,
absolutely. You know, and you ask that question. That's, you know what, right? I mean, that's the difference, okay? So as a regular person probably looks at that, says, yeah, I got to ask myself that question like I'm lost. A competitor says, I got to ask myself that question because I got to find a way how to win. And there's a big difference between the two, you know? You got to be a competitor. Like, I don't know. I'm a competitor. You're in a locker room. We got competitors. I've always challenged you guys. You guys come compete with me. Come compete with our guys anytime you want. You learn, you know, then you kind of learn a little bit more at the competitive edge of guys. But I think that's it. So I think our guys on our team, being that, I can see that. Yeah, I got to ask myself that question because I got to make sure I'm competing at the level I want to go compete at to go win.
So you obviously been doing this a long time. You've been through ups and downs. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the 16 Mississippi State team, for example. You guys had a couple of tough losses in November, closed out running Ole Miss off the field and winning a bowl game.
Yeah.
What kind of momentum did that create for the next season, which was a good year, and you ended up here after that one? Yeah. How do you sell this to like the guy? Like, look, this is like a program. You're following what I'm saying, right? I mean,
I do. I mean, if you don't want to compete, you don't show up. I'm going to be in South Carolina next week, and we'll be there with a team that's going to be ready to go compete. You know, not a team that's like, okay, I guess there's a game on the schedule. I guess we should get on a plane and drive up there and be on a stand on the sidelines for a couple hours until the game ends. You know, that ain't how it works. You know, so I guess I'll look if guys don't want to compete, then we won't bring them on the trip.
Dan, you have Urban, I assume, is your mentor, and he's
well, yeah, he's one of them.
Well, who do you turn to, like, in times, who do you talk to during these kind of times, that, like, behind the scenes, maybe?
Lots of different people. So I'm not going to get into, like, every individual person. Depends on what aspect of it I'm looking to try to find an answer for.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
We got time for one more. Zachary Verdi.
I'm good, Rick. I just jumped on.
Oh. All right, guys. We're in a tight schedule. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you later this week.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.